Hello, welcome. Today we'll be learning how we can get data from the checkboxes, basically of course HTML, and we'll be learning how we can retrieve this data as well. So we'll start off by creating our basic HTML file. We'll create a declaration. We'll save it as checkbox.html. We can set that as HTML. Yeah. Then we can go ahead and proceed with our HTML file. Give it a title. We call it checkboxes. Yeah, that can be enough. So inside our body, we will create a form. Maybe you can create a heading first, and maybe telling our user to choose for instance a subject. Maybe we are trying to create maybe a student's website, and want this student to select the subjects of their choices. So we'll create a form and provide them with checkboxes so they'll be able to check the subjects they would wish to take. So we'll put here something like, please choose your subject. Right, so we come ahead and write our form. We know that forms have gotten actions, so put the action. We'll probably want it to direct us to some, maybe we call it choice.php, because we would want to echo out what they have chosen. So the method is actually going to be post. Yep. So we proceed with our form. We'll write the checkboxes now. So the input type equals to checkbox, and the name we call it subject. Now this is where the whole thing comes from. When we want to get data from checkboxes, what we do, we get them as an array. So you've usually done this maybe with other input types like text, telephone number, and the rest. When it comes to the checkbox, we put the square bracket to transform them into arrays, so we'll be able to collect each data that has been selected by the user as an array. So we'll proceed, and we would want to add a value to this input, and we would call it maybe this would be mathematics, and we would want to now show to the user that they're actually choosing mathematics. So we would write here mathematics, and probably would want to break this to make it look nice. Yeah, so because we don't want to waste a lot of time, we'll copy and duplicate this for other subjects. This will stay the same. You notice this stays the same all through. and then the values will change. Here we'll have something like physics. Yeah, so we let the user know that they are choosing physics. We have something like biology. Biology. We have some chemistry. Then maybe we can have some geography as well. Geography, right? To make them all capitals. Chemistry. Well, so we would as well add some other input type here. I'm trying to put it a little fast so that you can realize it's a different one. So we'll call this input type. This is the submit button, so we call it submit, and give a value, maybe save. Yeah, so we'll be telling the user the actual saving their subjects of their choice, and there we are. So you can go see what's actually happening on the browser before we proceed with our because we'll have to create some other page where this will be redirected to, call it chase.php. So before then we'll have to look at what's actually happening in our browser. We'll call localhost the hello world. We call it choice php rather than html. There might be a problem with file naming. It's checkbox, right? It's not choice. It's checkbox.html. Checkbox.html. So here we are. We have our checkbox with mathematics, physics, so they can actually choose what they want to take, and when they save, there they are taken to choice.php. So go ahead and create this file really fast. Create a new file, we call it, it's a PHP file, and you would want to tell the user when they save, we would want to output to them what they have actually saved, and so they can probably proceed with their registration. For instance, we call this choice.php, and so we want to check if there is anything that has been submitted through the post. So we'll check if post. Yeah, the following should happen. We would want to print out the subjects they have actually selected. So we'll use a for each because we know it's a loop, it's an array. So we'll say for each we call it for each post as a choice. Then we would name it like a subject. If you don't understand actually what's happening right here, maybe you would want to learn how to deal with how to output, for instance, arrays. We use a for each loop, and then before we would want to actually define this variable post, because it's not actually yet defined. So we'll define it as post, which is our data that comes through the post global variable. called choice, rather subject, because that's the name we gave to our input there. So it's subject, and to say for each, and then here we want to now output, we will echo out our subjects. And we'll do maybe some line break. Right, so maybe we can tell the user that they have actually selected the following subject. So maybe say something like, thanks for choosing our school. And then a line break, the following are your subjects. Right, so let's go ahead and test this now in our browser, see if it's really working. So we'll go back to our page where we'll make the choices from and try to behave like students. Now we are choosing our subjects. Maybe I prefer mathematics, I'll take mathematics, I'll take physics and biology. Yeah, those are enough, I don't want to overload myself. So I'll save and we'll see what happens. So we'll be taken to this page called choice.php, and now they're telling us thanks for choosing, and these are the subjects, which are mathematics. I should have done some line breaking. Mathematics, physics and biology. Oh, this is a typo. Anyway, so you get the idea actually. So we've been able to get our results, how to put it to the user, and here you can proceed. Probably you might want to save this into the database. Yeah, because here we're just doing an example, so but you can save this in your database, so you can always tell the user what they chose on the day of their registration. So thanks for sticking around, and next time we'll be learning something else, and please subscribe. Thanks.